Hello, my name is John, and today we'll be reading Accepting Europe's Anti-Immigration Parties by Daniel Pipes, Washington Times, November 29th, 2017. Daniel Pipes is president of the Middle East Forum. In a typical assessment of recent European elections, Katy O'Donnell writes in Politico that nationalist parties now have a toehold everywhere from Italy to Finland, raising fears the continent is backpedaling toward the kinds of policies that led to catastrophe in the first half of the 20th century. Many Jews, like Menachem Margolin, head of the European Jewish Association, echo her fear, seeing a very real threat from populist movements across Europe. Of all countries, Austria and Germany naturally arouse the most concern, being the homelands of Nazism. The surging success of the Austrian Freedom Party and the Alternative for Germany, with 26 and 13% of the vote respectively, has made them both important political actors and horrified observers. Thus does Germany's foreign minister Sigmar Gabriel call AfD real Nazis, a nightmare come true, says Charlotte Knobloch, the former president of Germany's Central Council of Jews. Are they correct that we are slouching back to the 1930s? Or, to the contrary, might this insurgency indicate a healthy means for Europeans to protect their mores and culture? I shall argue the latter. To begin with, these parties are not nationalists as of old, boasting neither of British imperial power nor German bloodlines. Rather, they have a European and Western outlook. To coin a term, they are civilizationalists. Second, they are defensive, focus on protecting Western civilization rather than on destroying it, as communists and Nazis dream to do, or on extending it, as the French government long attempted. They seek not conquest, but to retain the Europe of Athens, Florence, and Amsterdam. Third, these parties cannot be called far right, for they offer a complex mix of right culture and left economics. Marine Le Pen's National Front, for example, calls for French banks to be nationalized and attracts leftist support. Rather, these parties are anti-immigration, a massive and sometimes uncontrolled immigration of non-Westerners, causing a sense of feeling like strangers in one's own home, fuels their appeal. Pathetic stories of pensioners surrounded by foreigners and scared to leave their apartments ricochet around Europe, as do tales of a single indigenous student in a school otherwise entirely made up of immigrant children. The parties all aspire to control, diminish, and even undo the immigration of recent decades, and especially of Muslims. Muslims stand out not because of prejudice, Islamophobia, but due to an array of problems specifically associated with Islam: polygamy, niqabs and burqas, female genital mutilation, honor killings, taharush, mass sexual assault of women, Judeophobia and Christophobia, Sharia courts, Islamicism, and jihadi violence. Muslims not only integrate into Europe less well than Latin Americans, African Christians, Hindus, or Chinese, but they engage in a unique cultural aggression and try to impose their civilization. Further, from Senegal to Morocco to Egypt to Turkey to Chechnya, Muslims form a membrane around Europe with vast numbers of potential migrants able with relative ease to enter illegally by continent, by land, or sea. two more factors complete the civilizational anxiety. The catastrophically low birth rate of Europeans. Average number of children per woman is 1.6. An elite, what I call the 6 Ps, politicians, press, police, prosecutors, professors, and priests, that ignore and even denigrates these concerns. When a voter expressed anxiety in September 2015 to Angela Merkel about uncontrolled immigration, the German Chancellor humiliated her with a scolding about Europe's deficiencies and admonished her to go to church more often. Together, these developments led to the proliferation and rise of anti-immigration parties through much of Europe. From the venerable National Front in France, founded in 1972, to the AfD in Germany, founded 2013, they fill a profound need. From virtually no presence 20 years ago, they have rapidly become an important, if marginalized, force in 20 European countries. In the words of Geert Wilders, leader of the Dutch anti-immigration PVV party, in the eastern part of Europe, anti-Islamification and anti-mass migration parties see a surge in popular support. Resistance is growing in the West as well. That said, almost without exception, they suffer from deep problems. Mainly staffed by novices, they contain dismaying proportions of power-hungry eccentrics, conspiracy theorists, historical revisionists, and anti-Jewish or anti-Muslim extremists. These shortcomings translate into electoral weakness. If polls in Germany show about 60% of the voting public worried about Islam and Muslims, only 1/5 as many vote AfD. This implies that once anti-immigration parties convince voters they can be trusted with power, they can grow very substantially, perhaps even winning majorities. But that's a long way off. In the meantime, two positive processes are underway. First, the lure of power inspires anti-immigration parties to mature, moderate, and gain governing experience, along the way generating personal battles, party splits, and other drama. However messy, this is necessary and constructive. Second, legacy conservative parties will adopt their policies to lure their voters. The Republican presidential candidate in France tried this, and now the head of Germany's Free Democratic Party is doing so. A preview of this scenario just took place in Austria, where the legacy conservative Austrian People's Party, OVP, and the FPO together won 58% of the vote and will likely be sharing power. So rather than attempt in vain to ostracize anti-immigration parties that are not dangerous and that will go far beyond their current strength, the 6 Ps should encourage the leaders to slough off radical elements, gain experience, and otherwise prepare themselves for governance. Like them or despise them, these parties inevitably will have a mandate to deal very differently with immigration and much else. This video is a production of the School of the White Crane. My name is John Brooker, and you can contact me through commentary on this video or through my Gmail listed here. Please share this video with family and friends and on social media. May God richly bless you.